Man, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I feel like at some point Power Rangers has definitely need to be more original if you wanna cater to a teenage slash adult audiences in order to tell a mature action story with great martial arts battles that last for like maybe 2 to 3 minutes or something like that. Like if you do it like the old days, but make it more modernized, then I really do think that Power Rangers could be back to its glory days. Because we've seen and said this many, many, many times. So with that in mind, I really do think that Power Rangers in 2026 could end up becoming a redemption era. Or should I say the Renaissance era. Meaning that after 32 years of continuity, some cheesy, some wacky storylines, to a mature rebranding of Power Rangers that can be done correctly under guise of the Percy Jackson franchise. So, shout out to the fan club for this. Let's get on to the video, y'all.
90s, but there is some untapped potential within these characters' stories and overall brand that I think that they can tap into over the years. I believe Power Rangers isn't dead. It just had a heart attack. We have to reassess our life and make some better decisions and choices moving forward, and we're going to talk about all of these things. Let's get into it. Hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the fan club.
You're watching the fan club.
And you're watching the fan club. Do you know what time it is? And you know what time it is. It's time for the fan club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morpher when it morphed, I made a fake.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the fan club. It is your boy Bros, Dan Brosden in the building. Happy Monday. We are happy to have you guys. Welcome. Now, if somebody said a year or two ago that Power Rangers is dead, I could agree with that because there was no life or no signs of life of Power Rangers for like a year and a half, 2 years. There were a bunch of things that were supposed to happen, like the Jonathan Entwistle project, and that never happened. So we were in this weird hiatus spot. There was no TV show. We're not adapting Sentai no more. We don't know what in the hell is going to happen. And then we got that first sniff of news about Playmates taking over the toys, and we thought, like, the first assumption was that Playmates was taking full control of everything. But we later found out that Playmates is just licensing out the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers brand. So they're not getting access to Lost Galaxy, Dino Fury, every other season, right? They're just focusing on Mighty Morphin. And then we found out a few months ago that we have a Power Rangers Disney Plus project being worked on, and Hasbro will be making the toys for that. Coming up, there are things happening with Power Rangers, so you can't necessarily say it's dead anymore, but we do need to make better decisions. So in my intro, I said that it had a heart attack. Now, what usually happens when you have a heart attack? I'm at that weird early 30s where friends of mine are starting to kind of have health conditions, and my wife's actually dealing with some bad back pain right now. So I get, the older we get, the more we're going to deal with some crap. And when you deal with that crap, like a heart attack, you have to reassess your life. Reassess the choices, decisions that you are making. You're eating pizza and burgers 4 or 5 nights a week. You're most likely going to have to cut that out or turn that to maybe once a week or something like that, and then supplement some better food options, right? And I bring this up because Power Rangers is at this really weird stage where we were doing the same thing for over 30 years, but the health of the brand took a huge nosedive. And instead of doing the same thing, Power Rangers, Hasbro, the brand as a whole, has to reassess the whole situation and make better decisions and choices. So instead of doing the exact same thing, eating that junk food, they're going to have to change up their formula and change up how they move in the 2020s going into 2030s if we still want this brand to live on, correct? It is really weird to think about, but before we know it, we're going to be in the 2030s and is Power Rangers still going to be there? If we wanted to, we're going to have to move a little bit differently because everything is like super digitized these days. It's not just like things are digital where like it's just everything streaming. Everything is streaming and clips and social media. It's a bunch of things all at once. Like they say, everything all at once, and you have to grind just as a creator. It's no longer.
And I think that's the one thing I kind of notice about within the fandom these days, because they really want this Sentai adaptation to continue. I said, using Sentai footage, a lot of errors and bad editings and puns, cheesy one-liners, and y'all just want Power Rangers to be the exact same way as it was 32 years ago. You know, we're in the day and age where everything has to be perfect. You know what? Here's the thing. I became one of those people in 2020 that was completely against what the Illuminati was saying about them getting rid of Sentai and splitting from Toei in order to be more original. I completely hated the idea. Though they were wrong about having a female Red Ranger in a reboot, female lead to replace some male roles and all of that garbage that was kind of fed by the people that completely disregard everything what the Illuminati was saying. But they got some information right and they got some information wrong. So once Cosmic Fury ended, everything just went silent. No new season, no Lightning Collection figures being shown, no updates on where is the upcoming figures are going to come out. So we've been stuck with this Jonathan Entwistle thing for nearly 4 years of absolutely nothing. To the point where we're starting to question either this project is going to happen or it's going to get canceled altogether. And ever since we find out in 2024 that Jonathan Entwistle and the whole Netflix Power Rangers project got completely scrapped and canceled because of some behind the scenes issues, and it might have something to do with his ideas of them being like a Knight Armor Power Rangers theme with little to nothing original. So his idea and vision for the Power Rangers reboot was completely garbage. I'm sorry. Like, I know I respect the Jonathan Entwistle for what he's trying to do and bring to the Power Rangers fandom and the franchise, but it's something about his ideas that just didn't fit right with me as well as everyone else. Thank God his vision did not get off the ground. And so, back in March, when we find out that the Power Rangers series is going to be streaming on Disney Plus, and a few months later, we find out that it found its new home, which is the UK, and they're looking for production staff and crew members to be out there filming content for late 2026 release. It seems like we had 5 years of development, 5 years of pointless times of us trying to figure out what is going on with the franchise, because nothing about this reboot seems like it's gonna sound fun. It just didn't really fit right to me, to be honest with you. But now we ain't gotta worry about what's gonna happen in 2030 by the time Power Rangers gets officially released. So now we have more time for the production crew in the UK to actually get things done. To do it is them. All we gotta do is just, be patient and wait. And plus, they're gonna be taking inspirations from the Boom Studio comics, and it's gonna be young adult oriented, struggles with anxiety, peer pressure, responsibilities of being superheroes as Rangers protecting the world, more like the UK basically. And I know it's gonna be some drama being in it because I think that's the one thing that has been missing in the Neo Saban era. It was a little bit of that here and there, but I feel like it wasn't enough moment. Like for instance, in Down on Fury, when Ion exposed Zato for what happened with the Sporax, when him and his people were in knight armor fighting the Sporax species and everything, and everybody in the chamber got upset at Zato for keeping that as a secret. That right there could have been a moment between Zato and Ion to have this rivalry of the Red and Gold Ranger, and the leader and the Sixth Ranger. We could have had like drama based because of that. Because I want to see some decent acting within Power Rangers. Because in kids shows they don't allow soap opera acting like how Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue was. There were some Oscar worthy moments in that show, but in Down on Fury and Cosmic Fury, they show a little bit of that with Tesserayo, Hunter Dino, Chance Perez, Kyle Moya, maybe Ion. Yeah, Ion for the most part has some good moments though, but I don't know about Zato. You know what I'm saying? But I really do feel like that if we can go back to those times and make it better by utilizing different characters right, then I really do believe that the way to do it is to make these characters feel special and important. Because if not, then you might as well not put out Power Rangers altogether, because we definitely need some change in fight scenes and storytelling and the dialogues, because this 30 years of continuity can't continue unless you can teach the new generation Rangers about the history of Power Rangers, of where their powers actually came from. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is put the writing on the board and make sure that every last writer in that writing department gets every single note right before you decided to go in production. Same goes for the fight scenes. Fight scenes are definitely a must in all of Power Rangers, because we haven't had none of that since maybe Down on Charge and Beast Morphers. Beast Morphers and Down on plenty, because the old school Saban era definitely had that, because they had the abilities of martial arts, dance, and gymnasts to play these characters, but the acting made it worth watching because of their background in acting and stuff. If you do that in the Disney Plus series, so help me God, I hope and pray they can pull it off. Don't get me wrong, I'm still excited about this reboot overall. I just don't want it to mess up, because we waited 5 years for something new. You know what I'm saying? With the Power Rangers project, it's completely new. We're all fixing to be grateful for what they're about to give us.
You have to put your stuff on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We upload to Spotify, TikTok, you name it, right? They have to continue to change with the times, and I do think that this Disney Plus reboot has a chance, if they are able to kind of make something that the fans still like as Power Rangers. But
They
tell you
do.
the truth, like, we were watching all these Sentai adapted shows for years and had the cheapest budgets. They had no-name actors who were still good, and a lot of us love this show. Imagine if they put a lot of money and get some good showrunners. Like we hear, we're going to get the Percy Jackson guys behind this. That sounds actually pretty promising, because the Percy Jackson show on Disney Plus was pretty freaking fun. And that's another brand that was kind of dormant. Percy Jackson brought that back to life, and it was successful. I think they could do this with Power Rangers, but it's going to be a switch up. And I know a lot of fans out there really want Sentai adaptions, or more Sentai adaptions, I should say. But as of right now, that was something that was kind of like it was making money, but it wasn't really making them what they wanted. At one point, Power Rangers used to be a billion-dollar brand, and over time, no matter who touched it after Saban kind of sold it to Disney, it just could never reignite that original fire that it had. And I think that the fan base is still here, but we've talked probably 100 times about one of its biggest problems was the show never actually changed with the generations. So they were making the same show, but all of us that got older, the show wasn't us, but it was the same exact formula that we liked as kids, but the younger kids that like the show is for now, they're not really watching it like that because that doesn't seem like something that was for them. It was kind of a weird place that Power Rangers is in. So rebooting everything, looking at how we can affect the next generation and get them on our side, that is huge. I've always talked about like a CGI preschool show. There are like so many ideas. And I think that moving forward, we have to understand that Power Rangers isn't dead, but we need to move a lot like smarter because we only have so many more F-ups. We can only screw up so many more times before we pull the plug. And another thing I thought about Power Rangers is this has been something that's been like every year there's new Power Rangers. A lot of other brands do not have this, where most brands take a few years off. Like I'm thinking of like your Masters of the Universe, like He-Man, and there's so many other brands that eventually they take breaks, like the X-Men, a lot of Marvel shows, stuff like that. But
when the Turtles took a nosedive in the 90s, ever since Power Rangers premiered 32 years ago on Fox Kids, you just knew that Power Rangers was going to be a smash hit. But with the Turtles, I feel like they were starting to wind down a little, trying to, keep the franchise alive with tournament fighters, with different versions of it, Genesis, Super Nintendo, NDS. And then they kept on doing animations, and even noticed a different style of animations would change. Then the Red Sky seasons came out, and that was the beginning of the downfall. The live action series turned out to be a complete waste, and it was hot garbage from the moment we've seen the costumes and the voice acting. The writing was terrible. When they did that crossover with the Space Rangers, that don't count. I still don't like it. But at the same time, what they did was they reinvented themselves in 2003 when they came out with the new animation series on Fox, something like that. You just knew that if the Turtles can reinvent themselves, so can the Power Rangers. All you gotta do is find some talented writers and make it Oscar worthy. So maybe they could just win awards. Any awards. Any. Just put your time and effort into it. Because if not, then you're obviously wasting the fans' time, including mine as well. A lot of us really do want to see Power Rangers back. And how you're going to get there, you need to change some things within yourself first before you decide to touch the franchise. Change yourself first, and then you touch the franchise.
Rangers, and I know for a while when you don't have that show anymore, it feels like the brand is dead. Hasbro was making no more toys, so you could pretty much say at that time, yeah, we're dead, we're goners. When we first started the show for like 4 or 5 years, we would always say it's a great time to be a fan, and then during the hiatus, we would say it's a weird time to be a fan because I don't know how to feel. I still love yours. I don't feel like anything is coming out. Now that there's so many things like in the pipeline for Power Rangers between toys and the Ninja Kids, and we got Power Rangers on Fortnite, and we got this Disney Plus thing. There's a lot of different ways that Power Rangers can be accessed and promoted. So moving forward, I think that Power Rangers could be in a good place. I don't want to say it's in a good place because we don't even know where in the hell everything is at this point. We just know that there should be starting filming in London in January. That's what we're hearing. We'll see if that actually happens. But I just wanted to make a video kind of talking about the health of the brand and to say, hey, we made some bad decisions and our bodies taking a little bit of a toll from that, but we have a long life left and we just have to make some better decisions, right? Instead of eating that, eat this. Let's make some better choices in life and we will be better, and so will.
But also we have to give them a chance to see how they like the product. It's like you're trying to give them a chance to try any food that they came out recently. A new salad, new fruits, new chicken, new vegetables, etc. If you somehow give them a try without forcing that onto people, if they don't like something that they like, then don't force it onto them, because that's kind of like crossing the line here. Especially, force your ideology onto people that don't really like you, that don't want nothing to do with you, or don't want to be around you. You can't force people to like you and accept you for who you are. You have to allow them to accept you for you, right? So, just like with the Power Rangers reboot on Disney Plus, whether people want to accept it or not, this is where it's at for the next 10 years. If not, then forever. Because we really need to just come out with a new product instead of like waiting for the next year and the year after to put out a product. Because now I feel like you're not only wasted 5 to 6 years of development, you could have at least had it on paper and put it all together. Then you release the show to the public. Promote it, market the crap out of Power Rangers reboot. If you do it right, then the fans will come back. It's all about teamwork and effort and triumph with Power Rangers. You may not be able to get back the glory days like it was 32 years ago, but you could do it in your own right. Because kids have already seen Power Rangers all the time. So now it's up to us to keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just go and support the project on Disney Plus. Because it's coming out in 2026 too.
Rangers. I hope this analogy made some sense for you guys. I want to know your thoughts. Shout out.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I really do feel like, to me, Power Rangers can and will be successful if the people that are running Percy Jackson in the Olympians TV series study the lore of Power Rangers and understand how martial arts, kung fu, action-based and action-packed this show is. I mean, we're in Disney Plus now. So it's only a matter of time before we get to see who the cast of the Rangers are, if they have any type of backgrounds in them, like dance, martial arts, gymnasts, and if they can act, great. I just don't want the martial arts to be toned down, because I want to see them, elevate and evolve in the fight scenes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to the fan club for being so factful about this project. And if you enjoy what I have to say as well, so let me know in the comments down below, and the link will be in the description.